Hey gang, it's JC and this is the Daily Dose for Wednesday, July 20th, 2011, a combined venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Brentwood. We have great television archives at the top of the page. We have your eye candy feature right below. Well, actually, that's not right below where I am. You know what I mean, on the screen. And then we have our rock and roll poll question over in the corner, the results of which yesterday go like this. What's your take on the Archbishop Justin Regali scandal? He finally got what was coming to him. 59%. You know, by the way, they made him a total scapegoat. That's 25%. And these kinds of things are complicated, and I still believe in him. That's 16.5%. So about 36-37% of you are still really cutting this guy a break. But 59% of you sort of know the score on this thing. I'm sorry for those of you who disagree. But when you're picking on Bob Costas, okay? Bob Costas, who only built, half a hospital, half a children's hospital, and you come down on Bob Costas the night of his event, his fundraiser, because Sheryl Crow is on the bill, and Sheryl Crow happens to be pro-choice, and you think that's carte blanche to just defecate all over the event and go after Bob Costas. This is a guy who set up shop somewhere in Wisconsin, like Eau Claire or something like that, and he came and he was ruling with an iron fist up there. So he comes to St. Louis, market number 21, and I think he thought he was just going to come stomping in here and start pushing people around, and people were like, yay, back off, Boogaloo. So anyhow, I am with the majority on this one. Congratulations for knowing what the score is on this whole thing. Anyhow, enough of that. In the aftermath of the two major storms that hit 5 years ago, yesterday was the 5th anniversary of, really we should count it as 3, because you had the big storm that cut through Busch Stadium and knocked out everybody's power, and then 2 days later, a similar storm in terms of intensity hit Illinois, and that wiped out pretty much everybody else in this region. Our power was out for, I think it was 5.5 or 6.5 days, something like that. A lot of people had power out for longer than that. Eric Mink's power was out for 10 days, So that was in July. That was July 19th of 2006, first year in the new ballpark, and the exploding trash can, that viral video of that giant trash receptacle just being carried through by the wave of water and wiping out that kid. It was one of the very first viral videos, as we talked about yesterday, because cell phone video cameras were fairly new at that time. So then in November, you had the ice storm, and that knocked out everybody's power for another week or two. Ours was out, I think, for 6 or 7 days on that one. So that was the 5th anniversary yesterday of all that sort of stuff. Anyhow, in the aftermath of the two major storms 5 years ago that produced those massive power outages lasting several days, have you taken significant new steps to be prepared? Okay, that would mean like the purchase of a generator or just doing something that is seriously altered your ability to withstand some sort of catastrophe like this. Yes, no, or C, I was already prepared, because a lot of people were. So that's our rock and roll poll question for today. Please answer that. We'll give you the results tomorrow here at jcontheline.com. Well, as many as 13 deaths are being blamed on the heat wave. Therefore, the heat wave is hoping that it gets a jury in Orlando, Florida. We're in the pool here today, because I'm telling you, I was doing yard work out here this morning at 7 a.m. The Ameren guys came out because they're going to be tree trimming today, because they got some trees hanging over the power lines here. We live in an area that's got a lot of foliage, and it is foliage, by the way, not foliage. It's one of those words that people in Missouri just sort of constantly mispronounce. But we're in the pool here today because that's the only way to fly. All right. Yesterday we did the story about, or maybe it was Monday, we did the story about Elin Nordegren, the I almost said widow. In a lot of cases, it probably feels like that to her. The ex of Tiger Woods. In fact, she has a new boyfriend. Well, it turns out that she had no idea that the new boyfriend had been tapping Rachel Uchitel, who was tapping Tiger Woods, that set off this whole firestorm, and that she went absolutely berserk, and she was incensed that she's back in the news over the Tiger situation again. Just sucks to be her, although I would imagine tripping over those millions and millions of dollars of cash that she got in the divorce settlement with Tiger probably softens the blow a little bit. All right, so we already know the Justin Timberlake and Mila Kunis stories about the Marine Corps ball and all that sort of stuff. Somebody asked Betty White out. Betty White said no. So now Linda Hamilton from the original Terminator series put up a video, asked to be invited by one of the Marine guys. Sounds a little desperate to me. All right, some website by the name of Pop Matters compiled a list of the 10 greatest movie comedies of all time. I am sweating so profusely that I have to dry my head off because the sweat is getting in my eyes. Can't see what I'm looking at here, man. I'm telling you, this is ridiculous. Oh, man. I pity those of you who don't have access to a pool or air conditioning or something like that. Anyhow, they basically said their main goal was to list and find classic comedies whose humor held up across generations. So nothing on the list was made after 1999. Here's the full top 10. Number 10, South Park, bigger, longer, and uncut from 99. Airplane at number 9, gotta agree with that. National Lampoon's Animal House at number 8. Tootsie at number 7, pretty funny movie. Bill Murray steals every scene he's in. Number 6, Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Marx Brothers Animal Crackers from 1930 is number 5. Number 4, Woody Allen, Love and Death from 75. Really? Raising Arizona at number 3. The In-Laws, the original one, 1979 is number 2. And Mel Brooks, The Producers from 1968 is number 1. You know, some of the greatest films and some of the greatest comedies are movies that sort of blur the line between comedy and drama or comedy and romantic comedy. The idea that you could leave Woody Allen's Annie Hall off the list is just absolutely silly to me. Someone needs to tell the people who are running the Teen Choice Awards that they are completely out of control. They announced the nominees for the awards a couple of weeks ago. 66 categories, 66. And that was absurd. Well, yesterday they come out with a second wave of categories, and that's another 15, the Teen Choice Awards on Fox, August 7th. 13.5 million people watched the Team USA surprise loss in the Women's World Cup on Sunday. That was 2.5 million more than watched the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. I'm telling you, the owners and the players are getting rich in Major League Baseball, and Mike Shannon says that Bud Selig will go down as the best commissioner of all time in Major League Baseball, and I say he will go down as one of the worst, because yeah, the players and the owners are getting rich, but the fans are being left out, and they are not regenerating a new generation, if you will, of baseball fans. This is just ridiculous, you know. And that World Cup game was on cable, and it still had 2.5 million people more than the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. That having been said, that game still came in number 3 of all shows, behind America's Got Talent 1 and 2 last week. How long are you willing to sit still and watch Bachelor Pad in one sitting? If you answered 3 hours, good, because that's how long the thing's going to be, August 8th. On, what is it? It's on ABC? I got to watch it, doesn't matter. Steve Carell is going to be on Jon Stewart tonight. That's usually pretty funny stuff. If you and your dog ride in the car together, you're just like 56% of Americans, and there's also a good chance that you're going to crash at some point. New survey by AAA and some pet products outfit found that most drivers are distracted by their dogs and engage in risky behavior behind the wheel. 1 in 4 brace their dog when slamming on the brakes. 1 in 6 let the dog ride in their lap, and 3% of us have taken a photo of our dog while we were driving. That sure explains a lot, doesn't it? If you're interested, and I feel sorry for you if you are, a couple of companies are now offering bed bug insurance. Julianne Hough, 23 today. This is Ryan Seacrest's girlfriend. He's 36, by the way. She's 23 and got this tight little body, and is a country singer and does these very erotic music videos. 23 years old, doesn't know any better. Paul McCartney on this date 1968 found out that his engagement to Jane Asher was off because she announced it on a BBC television show. I had a woman that I had been dating for several years break up with me on email. That was a lot of fun. And it was on this date 1969. I know exactly where it was when Neil Armstrong and Edwin Buzz Aldrin became the first men to walk on the moon. Or did they? Says Marshall Falk. Marshall Falk, a couple of years ago in the Playboy interview that they did with him, said that he does not believe that the United States landed a man on the moon. Here we go. Armstrong walked down the ladder. His pulse registered at 160 beats a minute. I think he had an excuse. All right, JC's Eye Candy today, going back to the VP Fair in 1985. Yesterday they hauled off the Admiral to go break it up for, metal, and just bust it up and take it to the heap, basically. And it was a sad day for a lot of people who have really fond memories of all of their days as kids and teenagers and stuff like that, and young adults on the Admiral. I remember the stuff back in the middle 1980s when I was at Casey, and we would do Party Town. You had 4,000 people sitting on the banks of the Mississippi River singing along. We found a picture today. Robert Hayes from Airplane, Kent McCord from Adam 12, Marlene Jansen, who was in Playboy magazine back in 1982, Miss November, by the way. She was a sweetheart, by the way. And there we are on the SS Admiral and that whole bombed out thing. And in the background, by the way, you can see the president, which is where we rated the Artie Warren show. You can check that out. That's on Eye Candy right now. All right, so here we go with our rock and roll poll question again today after the two big major storms 5 years ago, yesterday, 5th anniversary, with the massive power outages lasting several days, more than a week for some people. Are you doing anything different? Did you do anything different? Did you get a generator? Did you, do you have a bunch of food frozen? Do you have water in the basement? What do you have? Have you done anything significant in terms of preparing for another one of these things, which it's only a matter of time? I've been very concerned with this heat wave going on, and these temperatures around 100 degrees. Sometimes those substations blow up and it's too hot, you get overuse, and the things just blow, and the next thing you know, you have no power. That's what I'm worried about. This thing isn't going to break until Monday, Dave Murray says, and even then it's 90 degrees. So there's your rock and roll poll question. Please answer, and that's it. That's it. JC's rock and roll poll question for today, and the Daily Dose for Wednesday, July 20th, 2011, a combined venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Brentwood. And in the meantime, we've beaten this one to death. Have a good one. See you later. Bye.